chapter 10, verses 5 through 8, it says this, okay? I looked up, and to my surprise saw a man dressed in linen with a belt of pure gold around his waist. His body was hard and glistening, as if sculpted from a precious stone. His face radiant, his eyes bright and penetrating like torches. His arms and feet glistening like polished bronze, and his voice deep and, what does that say? Resonant, thank you. Sounded like a huge choir of voices. I, Daniel, was the only one to see this, okay? The men who were with me, all thought, what does that word say? Although they did not see it, were overcome with fear and ran off and hid, fearing the worst, left alone after the appearance of abandonment by my friends. I went weak in the knees, the blood drained from my face, and pretty much what happened is Daniel passed out. Okay? Now this is crazy. Daniel has been praying and fasting. Okay? Fasting is where you just give up things that you really like to do. Okay? For many of you guys, this is going to kill y'all. But it's like giving up social media for like 3 weeks.
Yep.
Y'all should see y'all's faces like. Giving up your phone calls for about 3 weeks. Your text messages. Snapchat. Yeah, now we're hitting it, okay? Daniel has been asking God for something for a very long time, and it has not come true. So he decides to say, you know what, God, during these times of where I can be playing Xbox, or these times where I am in my BFF, or my boyfriend, or all this stuff, I'm going to focus in on who you are. So he prays and fasts for this amount of time. And then all of a sudden, what we believe is Jesus Christ shows up on the scene, because Daniel is written in the Old Testament, and then there's the New Testament when Jesus comes on the scene, okay? So the Old Testament happens, and Daniel has been praying for 21 days, and then on the 22nd day, Jesus shows up. And let's just see some of the things that our Jesus looks like, okay? Because if you look at this, it matches exactly what is found in Revelations about what Jesus looks like. So he's dressed in linen, white. I mean, he is like awesome, with a belt of pure gold around his waist. His body was hard and glistening, as if sculpted from precious stone. His face radiant. Okay, your boyfriend has nothing on Jesus Christ. Okay, and us guys, our girlfriends have nothing on Jesus Christ. I know that sounds kind of weird, but I promise you, it's not, because Jesus is amazing. He is the creator of the universe. He's done everything. He wants to be in a relationship with us. His eyes bright and penetrating like torches. His arms and feet glistening like polished bronze. And his voice, okay? When Jesus spoke, what happened to Daniel before we continue? You see it. What happened? He fainted. The only thing that could have happened is that he saw how breathtaking Jesus was, and then when he heard his voice, he literally passed out, because it was just all that in a bag of potato chips. Like a large family size. You know what I mean? Okay? So we continue reading on. Daniel 10, 8 through 9 says this. So I was left there all alone to see this amazing vision. My strength left me. My face grew deathly pale, and I felt very, very weak. Then I heard the man speak, and when I heard the sound of his voice, I fainted and lay there with my face to the ground. I got ahead of myself, I'm sorry. But that's exactly what happened when he saw Jesus and he heard Jesus' voice and everything like that. He fell face down. The thing is that whatever you're praying through right now, whatever you feel like God is silent about, I promise you, every time you called out to the Lord, Jesus heard you. Okay, because he loves you that much. No matter what's happening, when you get angry, when you get mad, when you get upset, angry, mad comes together, whatever. When you're sad, when you feel alone, when all those things happen that this world tries to make you feel, Jesus is there with you. And he's there to talk with you. And he wants you to know that even though he might be silent, it's only because he is waiting to come your way. Okay? He is preparing something for you that is going to be absolutely breathtaking. Okay? The very first thing that we need to talk about is the 3 things to remember when standing in faith. Okay? Because Jesus wants you to have faith in him. He wants you to have that relationship with him. There's 3 things that you need to understand. The very first one says this: God cares about you more than you do. Okay? The reason why God cares more about you than you do is because He created you. He has a special investment in your life. Before this world was created, and I know we're like, you're probably sitting there and the devil's just trying to make you feel like this dude is stupid. This dude has no idea what he's talking about. This dude is just trying to feed you lies. I am not feeding you lies. I am feeding you truth from God's Word. When this world was formed, back in the day, when God spoke this world into existence, He also spoke you into existence. Before any of this happened, before George Washington, before all these other people, like before anything that you could think of, God knew you. He knew your name and He knew the purpose that He has for you in your life. That's how awesome Jesus is. He does not think that you're a waste. He doesn't care what color your hair is or anything like that. He absolutely loves you because He created you. And all of you have a purpose in His life and in this world. You all have a purpose. So when you feel like nobody cares about you, that lie is just a lie. God cares about you more than you do. Daniel 10 through 11, it says this. And this is so cool because it's where God is coming down and literally touching you and bringing you back up. A hand touched me and pulled me to my hands and knees. Daniel, he said, men of quality, listen carefully to my message and get up on your feet. Stand at attention. I have been sent to bring you news. When he had said this, I stood up, but I was still shaking. The thing is that God, when this world tries to knock you down and things like that, they knock you down, put you out, try to say, hey, you're not worth it, your boyfriend breaks up, your parents divorce, whatever situation that you're going through, understand this, that Jesus is there ready to pick you up, okay, and set you back on a firm foundation, set you back up where you're not going to fall or falter again because He thinks that you are awesome, okay? Listen carefully to my message and get up on your feet, stand at attention. The second thing is God is doing more than you understand. Now, this is absolutely true because there are things that in your life that you've experienced right now that doesn't make sense, right? Okay, it doesn't make sense why God said, okay, this is the family that I'm giving you. These are the friends that I'm giving you. This is what's going to happen in your life. Okay, yes, some of you guys have been through some tragic things in life and you're just like, God, why? Why is this? I'm praying. Why do I not have a father in my life? Why do I not have a mother in my life? Why do my siblings want nothing to do with me? Why am I in this place right now? Why am I in this class? Why? I mean, like, there are so many questions that we have for God. The thing that you've got to understand is God is doing more than you understand. God is setting you up to have an amazing story to tell others about how God walked you through that path. There's sometimes that God is going to let you go in that path and you're going to feel all alone. But you've got to remember that God is there standing with you and walking along with you, okay? Daniel 10, 12 through 13. It's so funny because we're reading out the message and this is just pretty much our language of today. Jesus is pretty much telling Daniel to relax. It says this, relax, Daniel, he continued. Don't be afraid. From the moment you decided to humble yourself to receive understanding, your prayer was heard. This is a big part in whatever you're praying about. Make sure that it lines up with God's Word, because if you're not praying something that matches with what God has for you, it's not going to happen. So you're asking, okay, well, how do I know? You live in a generation now that invented Google. Okay, seriously. You can Google whatever the thing that you're thinking of, and you can put Bible at the end of that, and you're going to find Bible verses that come up that are especially what you're asking about. Okay? And then you pray to God. When you start asking for more understanding from God, your answers are going to come. Okay? Because there's many things. The entitlement factor in our lives, man, I'm with your generation. I think that everything should be handed to us and all that stuff. But honestly, when it comes to God, you've got to let God do His thing, okay? And ask for understanding, because that's what had happened. Your prayer was heard, and I set out to come to you. And this is the crazy thing. This might be what's happening right now in your life, where you feel like God is not there and He's silent. The reason why is because He's probably fighting off the demons that are trying to come into your life to cause you more grief. Because that is exactly what was happening in Daniel's life. But I was waylaid by the angel prince of the kingdom of Persia. Okay, this is a serious demon that Jesus was fighting at this time. The reason why Daniel was praying for 21 days is because Jesus Christ was protecting him from the king of Persia, which was a huge demon that could have done destructive things in Daniel's life. But God did not allow it because he was taking care of business. He was saying, absolutely not on my watch. And I was delayed for a good 3 weeks. How many days are in 3 weeks, everybody? Yay, there we go. But then Michael, one of the chief angel princes, intervened to help me. I left him there with the prince of king of Persia. I don't want us to miss this last part of the verse because I want you to understand that Jesus is there with you. And when you are in need of him, he will stop whatever he needs to do to come be with you. The great thing is that Jesus is, oh my gosh, I almost went like some old school teaching there. But there's a word called omnipresent. It means that he is everywhere. Like, it doesn't make sense because we don't understand because we're humans. But Jesus is everywhere and he wants to be with us. But he put somebody else in charge so that he can come and answer Daniel's prayer. The exact same thing will happen in your life. Jesus will put everything on hold because he wants a relationship with you. Many of you in this room might not have a relationship with the Lord, and I have no idea why you don't have a relationship. It might be because you don't believe that God will be there for you. You might not think that Jesus is all that in a bag of potato chips. You might not believe whatever. You might have been hurt by a church. You might have been hurt by a pastor. You might have been, whatever the case may be, don't blame Jesus. Blame that person. Don't blame Jesus. Don't blame your parents. Don't blame your grandparents that always try to make you read King James Version. All that stuff, okay? Believe in Jesus because he wants that relationship. The next thing is this, the third and final point. God's strength is made perfect in your weakness. Okay? When Daniel fell down, God was able to pick him back up and bring him strength. I'm getting ahead of myself again. Read the verse, Josh. Okay, Daniel 10, 17 through 19 says this. How can I, a lowly servant, speak to you, my master? I'm paralyzed. I can hardly breathe. Then this human-like figure touched me again and gave me strength. He said, do not be afraid, friend. Okay? Understand this. Jesus is not wanting you to do all these things so that you can be at a higher level with him in relationship status. It does not work like that. Jesus does not have a my five fave. Dude, that is some old stuff right there. Wow. I don't know what to say. Like, he doesn't have a top 10 list. He doesn't be like, oh yeah, Josh moved off my ladder. No. We're all equal in Jesus' sight. He will do anything for you because he loves you so much. He calls you friend, peace. Okay, he's saying, do not be afraid, friend, peace. Everything is going to be all right. Take courage and be strong because guess who's on the scene now? Jesus is on the scene. In whatever situation you're going through in life right now, understand this. Jesus is there for you, okay? So what I want you to do is I just want you to bow your head and close your eyes for me. And during this time, I just want to be able to kind of give you a moment where you can just go to God and just ask him to be there for you with whatever you're facing in life, okay? Whatever's going on, Jesus is going to be there. But you've got to humble yourself and ask him to be there. Okay, we cannot do that for you. Our small group leaders cannot do that for you. I cannot be there for you. We can intercede for you and pray for you about what's going on in your life. And that's another thing that the devil wants to do in your life. With your head bowed, your eyes closed, do not let the devil distract you with anything. But whatever you're going through in life, the devil wants you to just keep it between you and him. Don't allow that to happen. You give that to God, but then you give it to one of these small group leaders that want to be able to pray for you and not make you feel dumb or stupid. There's nothing that you're going through that we might not have already gone through. But we will never know what you're going through unless you talk to us so that we can pray for you. We're not going to call your parents. We're not going to call the FBI. All those lies that the devil tells you. We're not doing that. We're going to take it to God with you. But humble yourself because this is what Jesus says. If you say, hey, you want to be my friend? You want to be in a relationship with me? This is what I'm going to do for you in your times of trouble. It's just like what it says in Daniel 10 at the end of 19. Do not be afraid, friend. Peace. Everything is going to be all right. Somebody in this room needs to hear that. Everything is going to be all right in whatever situation that you're going through because Jesus is on the scene, okay? Take courage. Take courage. Don't let the devil knock you down again. Don't let the demons knock you down. Don't let anything knock you down. You be in relationship with the Lord. You be in relationship with us. Don't be afraid. Be strong. Take care.